The red wolf is critically endangered. It exists only in one habitat in North Carolina, and the people of North Carolina that would be in charge of them, perhaps elected officials, perhaps Republicans, they want it extinct. So normally, we protect endangered species, particularly critically endangered species, but in the case of the red wolf, it's been a little bit difficult. Now, for a while, the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission has been pushing for the Fish and Wildlife Service to end the red wolf recovery program to help the red wolf come back from the brink of extinction, which they are currently at. It's expected there's fewer than 100 of these wolves left in the wild. Some estimates are 45 to 60. And the reasons cited are mainly landowners don't like them, and that's about it.
Okay, yep, that really does basically cover their main complaint is people just don't want wolves on their property.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, when you contribute to the destruction of a species,
right?
There's some reasonable expectation that you would try to make your impact neutral in the environment. You've encroached into their land and their habitat. Now you just want them all dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, on top of that, it's, as you say, because humans have contributed to the extinction of this species. So if these wolves are coming on to your land and ripping up your yard, well, frankly, you deserve it because they were there first and you took over.
Now, it's been going back and forth between the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, who again, they're the anti-wolf people, and official governmental avenues. And typically, conservationists and scientists have been on the same side as the government. But we have seen a recent swing under Trump to a more Republican and anti-environmental point of view, and this was actually this idea was hidden in a Senate report related to funding for the Department of the Interior. And in that report from the Department of the Interior, the committee acknowledges the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission's request that the Fish and Wildlife Service end the red wolf recovery program and declare the red wolf extinct. And then there was a recovery program that involved introducing wolves that were raised on private land back to the wild. They, in some cases, bred with native coyotes, kind of hurting the efforts, but it did seem to be working. There have been some wildlife advocates who also spoke on the issue. The science shows that red wolves can be saved, but with fewer than 50 left in the wild, the clock is ticking. I'm hopeful that a new recovery plan will ensure that science, not politics, drives their management. That's from a biologist/attorney. Ben Prater, Defenders of the Wildlife Program Director, says there is absolutely a path forward for red wolf recovery in the southeast. The science is there, but it requires commitment from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Instead of pulling red wolves from the wild, the agency needs to step up and increase their efforts to recover this incredibly rare species. That means releasing captive red wolves into the wild again, working with landowners to implement coexistence strategies, and investigating additional sites for reintroduction. I think it goes back to a level of responsibility. So if people are responsible for wiping out a species, I think there is some responsibility to try and help them, to not let them go extinct because it's inconvenient for you when you moved into their land.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's mind-boggling to me that there's this whole group of people that's saying, yeah, sure, let's just let this animal become extinct. Like, why?
Are they any worse than other wolves or coyotes on the land?
I don't know.
It's just, it doesn't seem right to me. It seems, I mean, this is a fight that's been going on for years.
Sure.
But this looks like the anti-conservationists might actually win this time.
Yeah. It just hurts my heart a lot.
I mean, it's just one of many pieces of brash, regressive pieces of legislation that the GOP have recently brought in. I think it's terrible. Audience, do you see any reason for making the red wolf go extinct? Please let us know. We're on Facebook and we're on Twitter.